Alexandra Hospital definitely has come down a lot. In fact, the workload here now is higher than Alexandra Hospital. So meaning the new hospital is already busier than the Alexandra Hospital. So Alexandra Hospital therefore will be able to provide very strong relief for NUH. Yeah. So Tan Tock Seng workload has eased a bit. One figure that I watch is when patients who come to A&E and doctor said, all right, I need to admit you, then we all know the waiting problem in Tan Tock Seng. So my own target was make sure all patients should not wait more than 10 hours. So last few months, we still have a small percentage of patients, and that one is really, it's not hassle-free to the patients, the heartaches and the family seeing the relatives, lying in beds in the corridor. That's terrible. So for 2-3 weeks now, no patients had to wait more than 10 hours. Of course, most people are not a single one for 2-3 weeks now, and of course, most of them waited less, 4 hours, 3 hours. So clearly, I think we can confidently say that the problem has eased, but not yet 100%. I think after next week, I'm optimistic that it should be. Of course, they'll take some time to run in. The arrangement with the SCDF is slowly, because we don't want to suddenly stress test Khoo Teck Puat Hospital. So we will take maybe a few days, a couple of weeks to run it in.
What about hospital staff, doctors here? Sufficiently staffed currently?
Currently more than sufficient. It's like new restaurants, when you open, you see more staff than customers. But it is building up quite rapidly, and we also don't want to, stress them unduly, because at the end of the day, we have very sick patients if they are brought in by ambulance, so we mustn't compromise on safety.
Population is still increasing and aging.
Yes.
So what are your plans for future hospitals? You don't want to have another crunch again?
Of course, certainly. I think having suffered this experience, let's not repeat it. And that's why we brought forward the planning for Jurong General Hospital. That project is coming along quite nicely. The site has been done, architect has been appointed. The planning is very advanced stage of design. And we should be able to do groundbreaking definitely before the end of this year. And we have a few milestones which I looked at and make sure they're on target. And by and large, they're on target. So the planning team and the new group that will be running JGH, they are not idling, just looking at planning. And they have taken over Alexandra Hospital. So they actually have a hospital to run to, which is important because that was what we did for KTPH. So that I told them that, all right, because we want to try our new ideas, then let's test them out. So AH was like a laboratory for the KTPH team. So likewise, AH will continue to be a laboratory for the Jurong General Hospital.
And beyond Jurong?
Beyond Jurong, we have Chok, a couple of sites. And I foresee is, I think going forward with a very strong build-up of Sengkang, Punggol, because so we have a site somewhere there. We haven't quite firmed up the site, so at some stage I'll make some announcement.
So JGH will be opening in?
JGH should open before 2015.
And the one beyond that is likely?
Beyond that will depend. That one I think that's really paper planning at this stage, because we have some time, because each hospital's increase is not sudden, So like this one will really add about 500 odd beds to the system. So that should last us, provide some slack for a few years. Then with 2015, JGH and others, in fact that one's even bigger, 700 beds. We should be able to that we do not have to rush for this East Coast Hospital for quite a while.
You say that increase is not sudden, and yet you were caught flat-footed the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Right, so how did that happen? Are you sure it won't happen again?
I think, you see, before KTPH, we actually have not added new hospitals. Yeah. Whereas this is a real new addition. JGH should be a real new addition. Whereas before that, it was largely rebuilding. And in fact, what happened, when I look back, on what happened in this case, Tan Tock Seng bed crunch, was remember SARS? And after SARS, we noted the shortage of ICU beds. and isolation beds. So there was a big effort to create new ICU beds, isolation beds. And of course, they cannot create it out of nowhere. And in fact, beds were taken away. Beds were taken away. And actually, bed complement actually shrank during those periods. And then coupled with additional demand by aging and so-called longer length of stay, although it was not reflected in statistics because our average length of stay remains quite moderate. So I think it's just additional patient load. But whatever it is, there's water under the bridge now. Key point is I think we are clearly at the end of the tunnel, and I'm confident, and so my blood pressure is now back to normal.